It's good. So I'll sit here while Zoom to YouTube page loads, and we are loaded. Hold on, guys. I'll get back to Zoom. I have to pause what's going on YouTube. And now I'm back on Zoom. So thank you for being here today. It's the group read. This is Willow Root Tarot on both YouTube and Meetup. For those of you joining live, I'll keep up with the comments for as long as I can. Thank you for being here. All right, we are going to start off with Seasons of the Witch. I'm going to be pulling from two Seasons of the Witch decks because we're in Letha right now, but we're moving into Vomus. And by pronunciation, Google my check, spell check me, not spell check, pronunciation check me, because I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Okay, so we'll start with the holiday we're in. That's the first card we'll pull, and then we'll pull second to that the holiday we're entering into. And I don't necessarily really have a question for the deck. This is whatever the deck would like to say, which is I read like that. Just ask the deck like, what would you like to say, literally, and then just listen from there. Okay, so we'll start with Letha Oracle, Letha, and we'll shuffle, or I will shuffle. And this is by Letha Oracle. They're all by Lorraine Anderson and Julia Diaz. And in this case, both of these decks were illustrated by Tajana Vukovic, but that's not always the case. The illustrator may change. All right, so Letha Oracle. All right, it is, oh, Sunwheel. We just pulled that. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, oops. What's an ad for the watch pool app? That app sucks. All right, so, or it has in the past. Seasons of the Witch. Wow, that is a really bright card. I love it. Or book cover, very bright. So we're shuffling. Oh, that's weird. It's bakery. I love this card. It was flipped the other way. Let's see if we get it. I do like that card. Because this is the second year I'm reading with these decks. So this is only the second time. I'm going to take that flip card as a personal hello from this deck. Because I love that card. Bakery. That was the card that was upside down that it says my favorite. I reshuffled and still got. That happens so much. Okay, so Sunwheel card 42. And we'll go from there into Bakery. So Sunwheel card 42. On the card itself, it says, make sure to catch your breath. You're in for an unexpected journey. And that's fun for me. This is a group read, but as you get the message is for you. That's for the reader as well. So my birthday is Wednesday. And I count my year as my birthday to my birthday. So I'm getting ready for the next 52 weeks as far as I'm concerned. You're in for an unexpected journey. Well, I have quite a bit planned for that year. I'm very excited. And I think that just that excitement, a lot is going to come from that. So even stuff I don't have planned, that's that unexpected journey. It's going to be happening a lot. I'm excited. Okay. So the card itself, and however it reads for you guys, you can have a question in your mind or not. Be prepared. The presence of the Sunwheel in a reading means things are about to speed up. You can expect a shift in movement in any number of ways. A project suddenly gaining significant traction. Finding yourself on an adventure halfway across the world. A whirlwind romance, or even the sudden urge to get up and move your physical body. This type of dynamic energy is exciting and generally stimulates positive outcomes. But change can be overwhelming, even good changes. So be sure to make time to catch your breath and plant your feet firmly on the ground. Receiving this card is a sign to take action and get the ball rolling. It is a very good indication of success if you're willing to act quickly. Even small steps taken at this time can stimulate significant leaps. Just be sure you know what you want before making any moves, as you don't want to find yourself with a plethora of opportunities only to realize you don't actually know where you're headed. The energy of the sun wheel is quick to come and quick to go. So don't waste it with indecision. Oh, but that sun wheel, that could be a whole year, but imagine everything that is happening in that year. I mean, that's a lot. So it's finding your own path, kind of like your own timeline, and what you find to be significant or insignificant in your life, because not everyone's going to agree on that. And that's fine. It's your life. All right, then we go to bakery from Sun Wheel. And again, Sun Wheel card 42 says, make sure to catch your breath. You're in for an unexpected journey. And then bakery card 1 says, take the time to diligently practice and refine your craft. Success will follow as you savor each little victory along the way, which is unexpected journey is savoring each little victory. You didn't plan those. They're all unexpected. Appreciate them. And I don't know if I showed you the card. This is the first card we just pulled. I think I showed it to you. This is a really cool deck. And then the second card, bakery, is right here. I love this card. All right, bakery. And it says, notice how at home the baker is in her kitchen. She knows when the yeast is in she knows when the yeast in the bread has developed based on the feel, something she has spent years getting to know on a deeply intimate level. She can tell how much of an ingredient to add with a quick glance, or when her baked goods are done by the smell. No measuring cups for her. A dash of this, a pinch of that. Knowledge given to her over years of trial and error. She didn't walk into this space as the master. Her relationship with her craft bloomed and evolved over time. You have pulled the bakery card as a reminder that practice makes perfect, and there is no shortcut to being first in line. Success is not measured in the final destination, but in the little victories experienced over the course of your journey. Just like the baker, you will pick up tips and tricks by being willing to try new things and working at your mistakes until you find the formula that works for you. And if you do have comments or questions, you're welcome to raise your hand in between decks. So that was Seasons of the Witch. Now that was both, and I'm going to pull August 1st is the August 1st, right around there, is the flip. So we'll be reading from both decks because the energy of that holiday is here. It's already present. And then we'll let Letha go back to be with her sisters until next year shortly. All right, so I'm gonna go to the blind. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want it to be too heavy. The blind spot oracle is amazing, but it can be a lot. Maybe we should. Let's go to our astrology. That's a little bit good. So this particular deck is Stellar Visions Oracle cards. I think these are just wonderful. They're oversized, which is kind of cool. They're good for readings, and they're great. They're beautiful, like flashcards. I use them like to study too. I mean, I just think they're really pretty. This is what the cover looks like of the box, and it's by Stephanie Gailing and illustrated by Social Dates. Is this going to be all of them? There's shit all of it. Oh no, it's not as much stuff. I was doing a series. I did a series for them. I didn't finish it. Oh, these are really sticky. Like friction kind of builds up or something. Cards. The when if you read reviews and it's like matte or glossy, however they're describing the deck, because that's depending on your style of shuffling or if you want jumpers, some decks are definitely going to lend itself more to that. Yeah, let's see what astrology part they have. This deck has a lot of astrology. A lot. So we have the 8th house of intimacy. The 8th house. Oh, what were the numbers on those two files? 42 equals 6 and card 1. So, all right. So this is the 8th house. Second house. 8th house. Intimacy. And this is what it looks like. I don't know how that's a depiction of the 8th house. And they just be to this artist. Okay. And it says inspirations for this card, and the keyword is intimacy. The inspirations for the card: explore alchemy, which is like change or transition. Renew by releasing. Give voice to the taboo. And be mindful when you pull resources. That's interesting. Like everybody goes camping and someone didn't show up with enough snacks. All right. Okay, let's see what it says. Oracle. Oracle of the card. It's time to dive deeper into intimacy. It's also intimacy with self and intimacy with gifts. If you are, there's language around declares, but even if you don't know it, do you hear? Do you see? Like, is your imagination particularly vivid? Those are gifts. All right, so the astrology of the card. The eighth house governs matters that relate to death and transformation, the ending of one phase for the beginning of another, including regenerative experiences that yield deep healing. It represents our capacity for deeply connecting to other people, whether in an intimate partnership, a transformative sexual union, or the sharing of money and possessions. The eighth house is linked to the psychic and occult worlds, as well as experiences that help us transcend the ego. Wow, that is a hell of a house. All right, affirmation. So each card has an affirmation, and each card has a stellar reflection question. I'll read those now. The affirmation for the eighth house: being intimate is transformation. And you can be intimate with self. You don't need an exterior partner for that. Being intimate is transformation. And the stellar reflection question: how can I foster my relationship with my sexuality? How can I foster my relationship with my sexuality? Suddenly I thought of like trees, and I was like, how do trees have sex? Like, I don't think they have sex. And then I was like, well, you go talk about tree sex and see how that will foster my relationship with my sexuality. So I'll be thinking about tree sex to foster my relationship with my sexuality, because I got that message. I don't know how that one came through. I don't always know how the messages come through, because sometimes I just know it. So it could be clairsentience, could have been a bit of claircognizance, could have been clairaudience, but I didn't hear it. I just knew it. Could be anything. All right, we're gonna read. I don't know if I want to land on Teal Swan. I think I do, but we'll go to Mary Magdalene, then Guide to the Hidden Realms, and then Teal Swan. All right, so I have the Mary Magdalene Oracle, and this is illustrations by Megan Watterson. No, it was, sorry, written by Megan Watterson, illustrations by Moon Jude. This is a pretty cool deck. I was not sure what I was going to think of it. I was just didn't know. And then the card I pulled was interesting. Okay, so it was actually about what I was talking about. And then I pulled a card, and the story was exactly what I was talking about. So this does have biblical references. Mary Magdalene is a character in the Bible. The Bible is part of the Christian mythos. I'm trying to let nothing's really coming in. Like, what is this card going to do? I've got a fairly blank mind right now. Just not common. I'm literally seeing just like, I guess I'm standing in the middle of a cloud. It's with notes. So let's see what the card is. That is interesting. Not a visual I've ever got. Nothing. I got a visual of nothing. Okay, it's called the skull, which should be interesting. Love has already won. It's called the skull, and there's an image of, I don't know who, what I'm going to say woman because they're pregnant. I would say definitely pregnant, the way they're holding themselves. On the table is 3 candles and a skull, and the skull is facing the woman. She sits on a bench next to a pile of books at a wooden table. So no indoor plumbing, no electricity, no gas, no mass transit when Christ walked the earth. However many years it is, go back, we're in 2026, go back 2026 years, because time began on that count. I think I'm saying, how many years ago was Christ alive? Is that right? Was it really that long ago? That's the Norse, the Elder Futhark runes. They were back. All right, so let's see what the book says. Let's see who this person is. She's mega pregnant with skull. Is this alphabetical? Yes. This no, it's not. Yes, it is. The skull. Okay, in chapter 9 of Mary's Gospel, the powers of the ego interrogate the soul, demanding, where are you coming from, human killer? And where are you going, space conqueror? The fuck? I'm gonna read that again. This is real. I didn't know Mary had a gospel. Oh, the gospel. It's not a book. Never mind. Mary has a gospel. I don't think. I think Ruth has a psalm, or maybe she doesn't have a book. Never mind. I don't know enough about the Bible. All right, let me read that. The powers of the ego interrogate the soul, demanding, where are you coming from, human killer? And where are you going, space conqueror? This passage is about the very real struggle for the soul to become free while in a human body. The ego, fearing for its own existence, confronts the soul, calling it human killer and space conqueror, fighting words. The ego resorts to name calling because it knows that the soul has already won. Love has already won. The ego dies when the body ceases to function. It's an ultimate reveal on how powerless the ego was all along. And the inherent powerlessness of the ego is what makes it so loud and fiercely persistent while we're alive. The ego knows it's impermanent, bound to chronological time. The soul knows that it continues to exist after the body ceases to function. The soul is not bound to time, it's eternal. And this inherent difference between the two inherent difference between the two essential aspects of what it means to be human can help us become increasingly aware of the presence of the soul, which is an unending love within us. Practicing kenosis, self-emptying love, will threaten the ego. The goal is to release any and all attachments that the ego generates. This egoic death is the aim, so that resurrection happens here in this lifetime, in this body, again and again. The painting by Georges Latour, titled La Madeleine à la Flamme Volante, I know I said that wrong, guys, that depicts Mary sitting at a desk with a skull. She's wearing a white top, a red skirt, and a simple rope belt at her waist that reveals she's pregnant. She's contemplating the flame that's radiating light. The skull, the new life in her body, the flames dance, all speak to me of the way contemplating death can be liberating. The body will die, as certainly as the flame will eventually burn out. But when we can anchor into what is lasting from within what will end, we experience, let me read that again. But when we can anchor into what is lasting from within, but when we can anchor into what is lasting from within what will end, we know directly that love never dies. The physical presence of Christ is missing. He's glaringly absent. And yet she is full from within of the love that will always and has already won. I'm gonna be real. That was a little bit above me. I'm not really sure. He's glaringly absent. Wait, Mary is Christ's mother. How is he absent? She had more kids than him. So if she's not pregnant with Christ, he's glaringly absent. And yet she is full from within of the love that will always and has already won. I mean, to me, that is, even though this is about Christ's mother, Mary, it doesn't mean that we need an exterior source or reason to be here. We're fucking here. What? I don't need a reason. I'm here. Why do I need what is a reason to be here if I'm already here? I'm here. I literally don't understand that part of it. It's weird. What is the meaning of life? I don't know. I mean, I'm living it, but why do I need a meaning? Why? What does it fucking matter? Because your meaning is not going to be my meaning. it might be kind of like, oh, I'm a little curious about what you're saying, but I'm too tired to listen, so bye. It's not going to make a difference. So it's almost like question, oh, is that living in the moment? Not questioning this kind of letting go of an egoic pattern, the ego death. Maybe I got more of that card than I thought. All right, we're gonna go to Guide to the Hidden Realms Oracle. Colette Baron Reed. I love her. I think she's awesome. And if you check out Hay House, Hay House is a publishing company. That wasn't a dramatic pause. It was moving to nice copy. Um, what? Hay House is a publishing company, and she publishes through them. And you can catch her doing free lives, and they're not readings, but they're just about what she offers. But she's good. I like watching her personality. She does do readings too, and you can usually I don't upgrade, but you can upgrade for like $22. Yeah, to go into a Zoom room with her afterwards and all that. So this is I have a few of her decks. This is the only one that I read out of. I go back to the other ones occasionally, but I just really like this. Guys of the Hidden Realms Oracle, Colette Baron Reed, and Hay House is who publishes this, so hayhouse.com. They also have Bradley Valentine. If you're into angels, they have Bradley Valentine and Kyle Gray. Um, More than that, they have quite a few. Louise Hay, maybe you've heard of her, that's Hay House. Here we go. So our card for this deck, Guys of the Hidden Realms, and she designed this completely. She wrote it and illustrated it. She's a badass. Oh, and she just dropped an album too. You know, friends. All right, so our card is, I love this stuff. Enough for now and always. Enough for now and always. And it says, you are enough. Worthiness, worthy. You are enough. Worthiness, faith in needs being met. What the fuck? That's not English. You are enough. I mean, it is, but you are enough. Comma, worthiness, comma, faith in needs. Okay, maybe my brain's not turned on. So we've got enough for now and always. Oh, is that coral? I think that might be like coral if you find in the ocean coral. Coral. That's really pretty. Check it out. She drew all these out. It's just not even. This is talent. But could you imagine waking up, getting to your Airbnb at night so you don't notice the artwork and waking up and this is looking at you? Because the canvases are like 5 feet tall. They're huge. All right. Let's see. This is card 30. And card 30 has me thinking of the Empress. This 3 in the major arcana, key 3 is the Empress energy. Empress energy was definitely present with Mary when she was pregnant, because it's part of the more archaic way of reading the card is pregnancy, but I think a more contemporary, a healthier version in any era is just abundant. Pregnancy does not mean abundance. Pregnancy could be what is about to ruin your life. But person has their own idea and opinion on what abundance is to them, and they are valid and justified in that opinion. Enough for now and always. Key concepts. Oh no, she did it again. Okay, so it's just a bunch of comments. All right, you are enough. These are the key concepts. You are enough. Worthiness. Having what you need. Faith in needs being met. Our need for emotional and intellectual nourishment. Asking for help and getting it. It's an amazing feeling to truly understand your needs in life and trust they will be met. When you have healthy self-esteem, you know you are worthy of the gifts the universe has bestowed on you. And you are comfortable and you comfortably hold space for your success. Your hard work, focus, and energy are leading you to a fulfilling, abundant experience. This is also a reminder that no one person can meet all of another's needs. A romantic partner may meet certain needs, while friends and family are needed for others to be fulfilled. Reflect on how much you're giving to others and whether you may be depleting yourself. You are not the unlimited source of anyone's supply. It is okay to ask for help. In fact, expect to receive it. You are worthy, and help is always available. You are in a time of win-win. Focus on nourishing yourself with experiences that bring you joy. Doing so will give you the energy and knowledge to then nourish others. So in reversed, and you can pull the card upright or reverse and get whatever meaning you want. So I always pull upright, but I always read the reverse because it's still part of the meaning. How much energy do you expend hustling to prove your worth? It's not your fault. Social media seduces us to need the approval of strangers on a daily basis. It's a sneaky way to take your attention away from real, meaningful experiences. But the only person you need approval from is yourself. You are enough. You were born enough, and there is enough in this world for you. It's important to move out of scarcity thinking and allow yourself to contemplate the abundance in the world. Yes, there is an abundance of everything, light and shadow, and you get to pick what you pay attention to. The more you focus on what nourishes you and act as if you believe the universe will have your back, the more you will notice. As you align with that, you attract more into your life. If you want true nourishment and prosperity, you have to make space for it. So how much are you willing to receive? How much are you willing to receive? I like that. I am totally asking people that. I'm so sick of, what are you willing to give up? Nothing. I'm not willing to give anything up. Go away. I'm not the person to talk to. How much are you willing to receive? Oh, I'll tell you how much. A lot. Trying to see what time it is. Okay, well, we are going to end our poll with Teal Swan. So this is Teal Swan, the Blind Spot Oracle cards. This is an amazing deck. Really amazing one. After my birthday, I'm gonna have more decks to read from. Kind of feel like I should do a tarot one too. But anyway, so this is the Blind Spot Oracle cards by Teal Swan, a 78 card deck and guidebook. Now each of the cards is going to be a sigil. This is an example of a sigil. A sigil is when you bring different characters together, characters, glyphs, runes, and you create a larger image. That's the sigil. You're bringing them together. Here we got 57. I don't think I pulled this one. So these are all intuited by Teal Swan. I don't know how she downloaded them. I'm not sure. But she intuited these. I believe they're all, I want to say they're channeled. Let's say channel. It's the language is really how you prefer it. A lot of these words kind of have, I think, have the same meaning. But who are you talking to? Who's using it? You're talking to a medium, they're probably going to say channeled message. If you're talking to someone interstellar or someone with a heavy like space experience, they might say download. It could be the same, probably, and there could be differences. But anyway, the language does have to process. All right, 57. Blinding optimism. I don't know if I've had that. Maybe. I imagine I would have that like if I was like about to die. I would be very optimistic I wasn't about to die. All right, blinding optimism. If you have drawn this sigil, it means that in this situation, your optimism is blinding you to actual reality. Optimism is associated with many positive things, such as increased success, better physical, emotional, and mental health, increased life expectancy, and better recovery from adversity. Having a positive outlook is a positive thing. It is a positive thing until you're using it to deny the negative. This makes positivity nothing more than illusory denial. It may benefit you to also spend some time accepting the energy of Sigil 10 and coming to understand its message just now. When our motives for being optimistic take us away from awareness, our positive distortions of personal attributes, capabilities, and estimation of the future can and usually do lead to negative outcomes. For example, optimism often gives us a flawed perception of risks, and those who underestimate risks do not take necessary action to avoid them. We may be using a whole host of coping mechanisms and mistaking them for something good because they are causing us to feel optimistic. We may be using optimism as a coping mechanism in and of itself. If we are doing this, chances are that we are using optimism to avoid the feeling of helplessness. Positive focus does a lot of good, but there is one enormous caveat to that rule, one massive exception. Positive focus works on everything except the things you're trying to use positive focus to avoid. Another way of saying this is positive focus works except for when it is used as a tool to enable our resistance. It is a guarantee that whatever you resist will persist. The question to ask yourself in this scenario is, what would I do differently if I knew my optimism were misguided in this scenario? What would I do differently if I knew my optimism were misguided in this scenario? There are times when optimism pays off. This is not one of those times. You are currently using optimism to avoid seeing what is real, and you are about to make choices and take actions based on something other than reality. Wow. I don't know. I mean, the shit that I talk about, some of this is like, I don't know if it's real or not, but I get the card. Well, I guess maybe before getting on that rope bridge across the chasm, give it a good tug, make sure it's sturdy. Before getting on that ladder, make sure it's locked in and supported. In like real practical ways, don't take that step unless you're sure the path is there in front of you. Like the Indian and Joan. Anyway, all right. I think that's where I was gonna stop, and I think it's a very natural. Yeah, we're good. This is about where I like to get us out of here, quarter till, maybe a little bit earlier. So we have a soft break. And that is our group read for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna end the live stream. And then I will be ending the Zoom here. So for the live stream folks, I'm gonna count to, I think it ends at 3. There's a lag. I'm talking, and YouTube is still pulling it through, still streaming it. So if I hit end too fast, it gets cut off. So I'm gonna count to 5. 1, I think it's a 3-second lag. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.